Well, hey guys, welcome to another episode of Breakdown. We are live tonight discussing the big red corporate machine, the big red monster, Isaac Yankem. Basically, if you like him, you know him, we're discussing Kane. Um, Obviously, this guy's been around the block quite a fair bit now. And as a bit of a fun fact to start the show, he suffered his 100th loss televised this week. Joining me tonight, we have Aaron and we have Paul. I can't imagine Aaron's much happier about the way we start that show discussing Kane's losing streak.
Yeah, that's a great way to start this off for me.
Oh yeah, it's going to get warmer and everyone's going to enjoy this. If
Warmer, Kane, get it. Fire.
Fire.
Funny.
So if you're listening live, guys, make sure that you can tweet in at LevelerLOW on Twitter, or if you're listening in the future on our app, then please feel free to send in any questions that you might have for next week's show as well. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Kane, how do you feel about him currently?
Go ahead, Aaron.
Okay. Currently, I've never been the biggest fan of the corporate Kane thing. I like certain things that have happened, but the last couple weeks I've very much liked what they've been doing. His whole thing with Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins is disrespecting him, and he's looks like they're gonna bring back the whole monster thing. It looks like they're building to the mask back or some kind of old school version of him again. So yeah, I like what they're doing with him right here at this moment.
Paul, how do you feel, or dare I not ask?
Actually, this is the perfect week to ask me about Kane because I really liked him this week. I thought that he was fantastic. He actually had emotion and feeling, and you kind of actually liked him for a minute. So, yeah, if this goes somewhere, if this gets the mask back on him and he becomes interesting again, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this week. I think Kane's one of those guys that he has his off weeks, he has his on weeks, but he always gives his all when it comes to storylines. And recently, he's definitely kind of realized that he's really good at being that monster again. And it's like they're giving him more and more time each week to showcase that. And it's coming across really well, so hopefully they're going to put him back in that mask. Now, obviously, Kane debuted back, I believe it was 1997.
Yeah, Bad Blood, 1997.
Thank you. And
of course he knows that.
He's got the date and the time tattooed on his ankle.
You mean upper back, but yeah.
Across the shoulders, yeah?
Yeah. Like the Orton tattoo.
Oh, okay. How did you feel about his debut? I mean, to me, this is one of the most well-remembered debuts, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's one of the top, couple debuts of all time. Just in terms of, how memorable of an action he did, because it was, I think it was the first Hell in the Cell match ever, and he, tearing the door off of the cage, and the JR sold the hell out of that, as he did with everything that ever happened, and then him, having the big stare down with The Undertaker, showing that he was actually bigger than him. With the huge-ass Frankenstein lifts he wore. And then tombstoning him and costing him the match was this big, nice, memorable thing, especially since it was built up to for weeks and weeks and weeks before it happened.
Yeah, it's one of those few instances where the build up and the debut actually lives up to its billing.
Do you think the debut would have meant as much had Paul Bearer not hyped it, or was it Undertaker's reaction with JR's selling?
Both.
Yeah, it's both. It's JR going crazy the whole time is one of the best parts about it, but the fact that Paul Bearer hinted at it for a while and then got basically was saying that it was going to happen at some point, and then bam, it happens, and then it's just this. Yeah, it's a big moment, and they did the full crazy fire pyro and stuff, and the whole place went red for a moment.
It's funny. I was thinking that this week. It seems rare almost that when someone says something's going to happen, that they follow through on their word. back then it seemed like everything that was said about Kane and The Undertaker, everything that was said was true. I would love to see that kind of thing come back again. Where it's like Kane says he can be that monster. 2 or 3 weeks from now, I'd love to see him come back as the original monster.
At this point, I mean, anything can happen with this character. So, I mean, it seems like we're down to the last run with him, and who knows? Maybe it's just us fantasy booking as we tend to do. But yeah, it really seems like a return to the mask is gonna happen.
Yeah, due to his age and how long he's been around, and like the fact that he has other things now, like I really doubt he's gonna last more than like past next WrestleMania.
Yeah, like selling insurance. It's
Yeah. Well, dude makes like $1 million a year. Like,
yeah, he's paid. That's cool.
no, I'm just saying, I don't. He doesn't need to hang around unless he was being done with his money, like like a nature boy or something.
Right.
Okay, so some of Kane's backstory, for those of you who don't know, he's actually followed through on the following names. We've had Angus King, Bruiser Mastino, Christmas Creature, we all love that one.
Absolutely.
We've had Fake Diesel, Doomsday, Glenn Jacobs, Isaac Yankem, DDS, Kane, Sid Powers, Spartacus, and Unabomb. Wow, that last one's weak. Unabomb.
Doomsday isn't bad as a name, but my goodness, that costume is terrible. If you've ever seen it.
He looks like he should have been a villain in a Mortal Kombat game.
Yeah, but like a bad one, like Mortal Kombat 4. Like he looks like a really low rent Mortal Kombat character that was only in one.
What's interesting though that I didn't know until today was that Dean Malenko was actually his trainer.
Really?
Yeah, Dean Malenko helped train Kane.
Huh. So Dean decided to only teach him 4 moves then, huh?
Oh yeah.
That's it. Never taught him a submission. Never taught him psychology in the ring. Never told him how to work a body part. Nothing.
Are you kidding me? Dean Malenko had all that charisma. He could teach anyone to work that.
Look at that. Yeah, he taught one person that had less charisma than him.
So they put him in a mask and no one ever gets to his face.
Yeah.
That's just plainly not true.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, yeah, well, for a while there, yeah, it was true until Team Hell No.
He's always had his upswings and his downswings on that kind of thing.
He didn't talk for 3 fucking years, and then when he did, he had a cancer kazoo. So
He spoke like that.
Yeah, but it's such a the first time he spoke was such a great weird moment.
For you?
No, I'm just saying him standing with DX and doing the suck it thing with the cancer kazoo was super weird.
Suck it. It's terrible.
Yeah, of course it's
terrible.
That's just memorable.
I mean, has there ever been anybody that's been wrapped up in as many shit storylines and hung around for as long as Kane has? I mean, that's the most amazing part. I venture to say that Kane has been involved in more shitty stuff.
Yeah, but only one of them had to work with Heidenreich.
Oh man.
Yeah, but but there was an implied necrophilia with Taker that I'm aware of. So I mean that pretty.
Yeah, but he had to stalk
trumps everything.
Man, besides of course Katie Vick, besides that, the darkest period of Kane I can think of is in like the very late 2000s before they redid him in like
where he tag teams with Big Show and immediately before that, when he's on ECW wrestling fat guys like Viscera and shit, who and Cully. Oh yeah, those fat guys like Viscera and Chavo Guerrero.
Okay, I'm talking about they plugged him in with every big guy, and Kane's not the best worker in the world. He's decent enough, but everybody he was wrestling was like complete dog shit. Like a Kane Cully match is the worst thing that you can see.
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people forget. I mean, recently I read a Ric Flair interview where he said if he could get in the ring one more time, I mean, the two guys that he'd want to do it with. Now, one of them was Kane. I mean, he said he could wrestle Kane an unbelievable amount of times just for the fact that Kane's endurance in the ring has been so well done that he can still do the same moves now that he was doing back then.
Well, he's also like the safest worker who's like ever lived. So
yeah.
which is key. Like I don't think he's ever hurt anybody in his entire 18-year career. And he's
No, he's a monster. He hurts everyone. I mean,
Okay.
testicles and car batteries, my friend.
And he himself, I think, has only sustained 2 injuries in his entire career, which is absurd.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you can't undersell that man has been healthy his entire time, really.
yeah, he got hurt in 03 and 08, and that's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that doesn't happen to anybody.
If I was being paid $905,000 a year, I'd be staying as healthy as that.
Who cares? Kevin Nash never did. He still got paid. So.
Yeah, but Nash also had drugs.
Oh,
And
allegedly.
unfortunately, Taker has had he's been injured a lot in his career.
But yeah, that's the real reputation though with Kane is that he is so easy to work with, and that comes off as like a double-edged sword because I mean, you watch his matches and you go, oh my God, this guy works soft because he does. I mean, you see some of those punches he throws. I mean, he works soft. But you know what though, that also helps out his opponent, I guess. If he's working a long program with you, you're going to be able to heal up being out there with him. So, I mean, I guess I'd rather work with somebody in an extended feud like Kane than someone like Vader or Stan Hansen.
Yeah. I don't want Kane's not going to pop your eyeball out of its socket.
No.
I'll tell you what Kane will do, though, that a lot of other wrestlers won't do. A lot of fans recently loved this idea that fans on Twitter get to speak to wrestlers. Kane apparently is one of those guys that has his own blog. It's called The Adventures of Citizen X. Search for liberty in the land of the free.
Yeah, dude's like a heavy-duty, like, libertarian conservative. It's interesting.
No, I'm not going to lie. See, as a wrestler in a modern day, having that kind of thing that he can do to himself is probably one of the things that's helped keep him sane and healthy.
The first picture I ever saw of Kane outside of, like, ring stuff was him at a Ron Paul rally in, like, 08. Like that he is very political. Like it's interesting. Like wrestlers usually aren't. I can't really think of anyone else besides him who's like that. So I don't know.
I still love the fact though a lot of people overlook Kane as now being one of these big boring guys, right? To me, Kane is one of the most interesting guys on the roster. Not only does his size and his presence add to that, but the fact that you never really know when his character is going to change in the ring. You never really know what you're going to get with him, whether he's going to be the corporate Kane that we've seen recently, whether you're going to see him snap like we have in the last 2 weeks, or whether he's just going to come out and bidding, basically.
Yeah.
This guy on screen can be so imposing.
Yeah, the great and bad and sometimes bad thing about Kane is he has this character that can be absolutely like almost anything, and it kind of makes sense. Like just the way he's been charted out, he can be crazy monster guy, he can be like conniving corporate asshole, and like it all kind of fits together. Like it fits together like. Corporate Kane connects better to the stuff before it than like American Badass Taker connects to the other Undertaker stuff. Like it just the way he's been defined over 20 years. He can be whatever they want.
Okay, so get this. Kane is the record holder for the most pay-per-view appearances in the company with 162. That's more than John Cena, Triple H, and The Undertaker.
Yeah, I am not surprised by that because he's, like I said, he's never hurt. So
here's my favorite ones. I mean, some of these are really, really interesting. His most dominant year was 2007. Now that's one of the years that he was awful. Like his storylines were really bad. He had 112 wins, 8 draws, and 19 losses. But 2014, he only won 7 matches and lost a staggering 112.
Because since he's put on the Corporate Kane thing, he's existed entirely to put over like mid-card baby faces.
In the year 1999, he had 200 matches alone. I mean, that's incredible considering this guy's 47 and still almost going at the same pace he was then.
Oh, was it 2012? Dude wrestled the second most matches of anyone in WWE, only behind Dolph Ziggler, who wrestled the most. Like, dude's a workhorse, and he's reliable, and that's, one of the main things that's kept him around for forever.
So let's discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly then. What, in your opinion, is the worst Kane storyline of all time?
Katie Vick.
I don't think there's a choice besides Katie Vick.
Yeah,
there's
really
bad stuff. Like, there's bad stuff, but there's nothing that compares.
I'm almost tempted to say May 19th.
No,
that was fine.
Yeah, that was fine. It even tied into a movie. It sold some tickets.
It was a little goofy, but it didn't ruin anything.
It was so goofy. I mean, the Katie Vick thing was bad. Like
that but that was main event. Like that was huge stuff. I mean, that was like the focus of the company.
The May 19th thing was like a weird way to break him and Big Show up. And that was it. Like, it didn't ruin anything.
No.
The Big Show, the whole Katie Vick thing was main event of Raw, and like every week. Like it's like if you play the freaking WWE 2K15 showcase mode, there's stuff connected to that because it was so like deep in the main event scene in that time period. It's one of the worst main event storylines of all time.
Yeah, thanks, Vince.
I mean, I don't know. I think back on like May 19th, and I just think about the fake Kane thing, and just seeing it for about the whole 3 weeks, and just wanting to obviously like throw my TV out a window.
The fake Kane thing was weird, but it also got dropped immediately. Like, it built to one pay-per-view, it had a brief match, and then it was never spoken of again.
Yeah, but it gave us Festus.
It gave us Luke Gallows.
Yeah, and then eventually Luke Gallows, which is good or bad, whatever. The new modern day Kane is Luke Gallows to me. So
that dude was way smaller than Kane was. Like, even when they put the lifts and stuff on him to make it more similar, he was still way smaller than Kane.
I loved it as well. They put them face to face in the pay-per-view, like they were literally face to face, and Kane had to drop down slightly to be at eye level with them.
Yeah, because it's a dude who's like legit like 6'9", and a dude who's legit like 6'5", 6'6", and so they had to do some weird stuff to make them look like they're the same size.
It's just one of those things. I mean, Vince obviously he likes his big guys, but it's hard to find someone who can match up to the size of these guys. So doing a storyline like that is obviously going to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, they did it with Undertaker. It was better with Undertaker in like 1994 or 5 or whenever that happened. Because the guy, they actually had guy who looks like him and matched him, and it like that storyline was also kind of weird and not very good, but it was better. It was significantly better.
I can't wait till we get the Triple H versus Triple H storyline.
Oh, that'll be incredible.
Just an hour of ego promos.
Get the girl who played Triple H in the Wrestling Isn't Wrestling video.
Oh, I would
just do that.
On TV for hours.
just have the commentators sell that they look the same.
Just bring back the neon and the fishnets, and it's fine. Just I think Triple H would wrestle that Triple H. It's probably okay.
I don't know if Steph would want him wrestling that Triple H.
I don't think Steph gets a choice. Obviously, Kane, as we've said, was involved with the Katie Vick storyline, and that was linked to Triple H as well. Now, they've both said on record that was probably not one of their favorite stories to be involved with. If you could have been involved with any Kane storyline, which one would you choose and why?
What do you mean by involved with?
Oh, if you
If,
could have been involved, as in brought in to work in any Kane storyline, in
Oh,
his shoes, which one would you pick?
oh, in his shoes.
Katie
Either
Vick.
either the Team Helno thing or the original Taker Kane. I mean, yeah, Taker Kane thing.
Katie Vick. I'll do that one. I have no problem with that.
So you can watch Triple H bang a mannequin.
Yeah,
Literally screw her brains out.
yeah,
Yeah, one of my favorite lines
yeah.
ever
I'll
on
do that.
WWE programming.
Oh
Oh,
man,
so bad.
I don't know how that storyline. Like, I don't know how it happened. Like,
That was been like the week that Vince was off with a fever, and Russo went, "You know what, sod it, I'm gonna do it."
cause I just don't grasp. Like, that storyline went on for a while, and it just no the only aspect of it that worked was people at the time liked Kane and cheered Kane against Triple H. That was the only aspect of that storyline that worked. Everything else was terrible.
If you had, obviously just now we've got corporate Kane. If you had the opportunity to bring back any of his masks that he could re-wear, which one would you pick and why? For me personally, I would say the 2002, 2003 one.
Oh yeah, that's his best attire. Like the whole belt thing, like that is his most like visually interesting attire.
I like the original one.
Does it fit in today's setting though? That's what I was thinking. A lot of people have asked for it back, and I'm kind of
The nostalgia factor will make it work.
I think people. I just want to hear slow chemical play, and then he rolls down the O2 stuff.
Oh man, I'll tell you that Slow Chemical song. I know we've spoke about this before. The song itself is really good, but does not fit Kane's character at all. It fitted
Hey,
for
it has
one
the word fire
storyline.
in it. It has the word fire in it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
and it only worked for one storyline. I mean, the Matt Hardy Lita thing that worked for a while because obviously he just wanted to feel love. The big red monster needed his love because all his girlfriends had left him, like Tori. Oh, she is gone. And then, I mean, it
Dude,
was just so fucking bad.
that storyline is way better than Katie Vick because at least there's fun stuff
Oh
in
yeah, like
in
a
the
flaming fireball thrown in his face by X-Pac.
like the Matt Hardy Lita Edge and Kane thing, like that was better because it had tombstoning a priest in it and and Snitsky hitting Lita with like a like literal tombstone and making her lose the baby and stuff. It was just like
Yeah, because everyone was okay with Lita being impregnated by Kane. Like that didn't come up on anyone's mind.
no, that storyline was insane enough that I like parts of it. Unlike Katie Vick, which is just gross and terrible.
Yeah, never mind. I want to take part in that storyline so I can be married to Lita.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Oh, yeah, I'm changing. Paul's right.
Too late, no takesy backsies.
Okay.
You're stuck with the dead broad.
Necrophilia's funny. Let's do an angle around it.
Oh my god. And not just an angle, the main event world title picture angle. God damn it. Do we know for a fact that was a Vince idea?
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
okay.
yes, we know for a fact
Oh
that
my
was
God.
Finn's idea.
Like I know he gave it a pass because he would have had to have, but I didn't know for sure that it was something that stemmed from him. Oh my god, jeez.
Yeah, because necrophilia's funny.
The only way it could have been funnier
pretty
for
much
him
it.
is that there was a farting dwarf in the background.
Yeah, because at least his his poo and midgets and vomit are funny thing usually doesn't interfere that much.
Except for when it's a main story and Hornswoggle becomes your son.
I forgot that was a thing that happened. Oh my god, I forgot because they positioned it to make it. It was supposed to be Mr. Kennedy, and then Mr. Kennedy got caught doing drugs or something, so they just were forced to switch it.
I thought it was because Randy Orton bitched and moaned that he didn't work well.
Maybe. I just remember Mr. Kennedy was the slot, and then he was not, and they just threw it on. That's what they have dropped storylines that don't work for whatever reason on Hornswoggle like multiple times, like the anonymous general manager.
That worked. I mean, it was clearly obvious, painfully obvious. In fact, it was him the entire time.
Um,
Okay, so let me ask. I had someone ask me earlier today which move I thought was more effective, and I would love your guys' opinion on this. Tombstone or the chokeslam? Which one works better for Kane and why?
Ugh, boy. There's times I like his tombstone because he just drops it so abruptly. But I
Yeah.
mean, when he gets the right guy in there with him and he hits him with a good choke slam, it looks pretty damn good.
like when he chokeslams John Cena, and John Cena
Oh,
goes 80 feet in the
so
air.
high. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll go with the choke slam for Kane.
I'll go with
that's
the
his move.
chokeslam too, though I do have some fond Pete Rose tombstoning memories.
Oh, absolutely.
I love that you say that like you were there in spirit with everyone.
Yes.
Like, oh no, it's him, and there's Aaron in the back row.
Well, Kane tombstoning animals and or people in animal costumes is one of the greatest things, and they combine that with him tombstoning Pete Rose when he was in the chicken costume or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Kane has a weird history.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody like in wrestling history that has had just the ups and downs that guy has had, and just the bizarre shit. I mean, it managed to stick around. It's incredible.
Because it feels like with Undertaker, because it's already had so much invested in him, they like waited for draft 2 on ideas. But they did not with Kane.
Yeah, hold on. What won't Taker do? Okay, we'll just give that to Kane.
Oh, they originally wanted Taker to bang a corpse, but Mark said no.
He won't do it, that pussy. Let's give it to Kane. He'll do it.
He'll do anything.
Yeah, he'll do it. He's easy to work with. Here. All the boys like him.
They kind of played into that on Raw this week when he said when Triple H was talking about how he's like, he's his like most trustworthy employee because he'll just do whatever he says or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he said, what was it? You're my trustworthy employee. He's always been so loyal.
Yeah.
We'll do what we've always done. We'll go in the back and we'll talk about it like men. I don't remember Kane directly ever going to the back with Triple H talking about it like men. I do remember a few times Triple H getting dropped on his head on the stage and being dragged to the back. I mean, is that how they go about it? Here,
Yeah.
I'll just carry you back. It'll be fine.
Oh man. Have you noticed a very small thing? Have you noticed the hand gest? I find the difference between the hand gestures Kane and Taker make when they're about to tombstone people interesting.
Kane adds a finger.
Yeah, he does the finger slice to his throat while Taker does the thumb thing.
And Batista does 2 fingers to throats, means death now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I really like that they play into this idea that Undertaker and Kane are brothers. I didn't like that they played into the idea that Paul Bearer was his dad. To me, that was really confusing, because obviously the idea was that Undertaker and Kane had burned the house down. It was never really explained why they burned the house down or how they burned the house down. And then all of a sudden Paul Bearer was the dad. It just baffled me.
It was an accident, right?
Yeah, it was like Taker accidentally burnt the house down when he was a kid, and it burned up Kane, and so that's why he was pissed off.
He blamed it on Kane.
Yeah, and so so Kane spent 20 years in in Paul Bearer's basement watching wrestling tapes and healing his burns, and then. But he was so mentally effed up that he thought he was still burnt up even after he wasn't.
Or they couldn't be bothered to do prosthetics every week.
Well, because that would be impossible on a stage show.
Yeah, that was what a unique choice that was, though, to not go there, to just have the scars be mental. I mean, that's pretty deep stuff. I mean, especially for wrestling.
Which was, I know for a fact, because he's talked about it, was a decision Kane himself made.
Good for him.
Because, well, I mean, dude was, before he was a wrestler, was an English teacher. So I guess.
And
guess
now
got
he's
some
an
stuff
insurance broker in a pair of pants and elbow pads.
Yep.
He's my favorite fruit roll-up salesman for Men's Warehouse. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was just like the whole reason I got into wrestling when I was a kid was the whole Kane Undertaker thing, and it because I was really liked how Kane's original costume and all that stuff looked, and I thought, dude, you're a kid and you're watching dude throw fireballs at people and blow up half the arena and shit with his pyro, and that's what brought me in, like the comic booky crazy stuff that they were doing with that storyline, and then all the Kane's, a lot of the Kane stuff afterwards that was similar. That's why I say he's my favorite wrestler and stuff, because I wouldn't be a wrestling fan if there wasn't Kane.
It's funny, I think there's a lot of people who got involved with wrestling due to Undertaker Kane. I for one, was definitely one of them. That was one of the stories that linked me for a long time anyway. I guess the only question to ask now is Undertaker or Kane. I mean, who did you support more as a child? Was it Undertaker or was it Kane?
Oh, it was definitely Kane.
Paul?
Taker, because I was a kid when Undertaker debuted. I was a teenager when Kane did, so thought he was terrible.
I was definitely kind of pulling for Kane. Even now, I still prefer seeing Kane to Undertaker, and I know that's blasphemy to a lot of people. I just don't get. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I don't get the mythos behind Undertaker, but I kind of get it with Kane.
Well, there's always been more of a dimension to what Kane does. He's got his stuff. He has a sad background to most of the stuff he's doing, and Hold on,
Kane,
why did you screw that dead body? I was lonely.
You see yourself in Kane, don't you, Aaron?
Well, yes.
That's where all this is leading to.
That's why child Aaron looked at Kane and was like, "This guy is the best."
Oh, this guy understands me.
Yeah, he's
a breakdown.
Weird.
This is an Aaron therapy session.
Yeah, he's a weird, angry, sad man who no one likes.
Aww. Wow, this show just turned fucking dark. Good Christ.
Damn.
Thanks for breaking the show now. Good job.
That's why it's called breakdown.
On that logic.
Yeah.
Emotional breakdowns.
I mean, the idea of Kane at least having some kind of backstory. He is the serial killer. He is almost the character he plays in See No Evil. I mean, Undertaker though is then left with, oh look, I've got lightning in my fingers. Ha 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 ha. And that's it. They don't explain it.
Yeah, that is the weird thing about Taker, is Taker doesn't have any but besides I guess American Badass when they did a little bit more with that kind of thing, but besides outside that, he doesn't really have any dimension to him besides he's a zombie guy. And it works. People love it. He's just a big zombie guy who doesn't really have anything else.
He was a devil worshiper there for a while.
Oh yeah, for about a year he was also a devil worshiper. when he crucified Stone Cold on something that looked different enough from a cross that people didn't get that upset.
Yeah, it wasn't a cross, we swear. But see that thing on ECW? That's a cross. Don't look at that.
Yeah, it was all misshapen and weird, so people didn't immediately make the connection like they did when it was happening with Sandman, when he was just straight up on a cross.
For more information on those shows, go see past episodes.
Good work, Paul.
Obviously, there's a lot of fans now saying that Kane's too old and needs to retire. after seeing this last 2 weeks on Raw, the amount of people that have gone, oh my God, he's amazing. Oh wow, he should at least get one more run. The internet is so full of hypocrites. It's my favorite place to be.
Well, it's partially because a lot of those people who act like they're like like they know everything and stuff, or have been wrestling fans for like 3 years. Like Chris.
Oh,
Hold on here. Is someone who is in that majority that went, hey, you know what? Kane had a good week, is because he's been so fucking dreadful for the past 5 years that
Okay.
any
Wait,
outside okay, he's been dreadful for the past year.
Oh yeah, okay, I can go with that.
Yeah,
But you said
I-
5. Like
yeah,
Team Hell No was in there.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Whatever. But he's been so bad and such a dull one-note character, basically, for the past year, that any show of emotion, any glimmer of hope that he could have anything interesting to do, perk people's ears up. So that's what that was. I mean, because he has sucked. He's been fucking terrible.
but has he sucked or has the story sucked?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. I've seen John Cena been in a shit ton of bad stories, but he's always been captivating and good.
Oh, don't lie. Don't lie. That was
I will-
awful.
I wouldn't say always. Always.
I've seen Ric Flair in a bunch of shit. I've seen Hulk Hogan in a ton of bad stories, but they still made them interesting.
When Ric Flair was the Black Scorpion or whatever.
Yeah, there was good stuff.
Good stuff.
Ric
strong.
Flair versus Jay Lethal.
Yeah, good stuff, because Jay Lethal had a really great Ric Flair impersonation. But it's up to that performer to get you involved, no matter what they give you. If they give you chicken chip, turn it into chicken salad. Kane to me he's a nice background player. He's a nice role player who could fill slots, and that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he's a
good utility player.
Yeah. I couldn't remember who called Christian a utility player, but yeah,
Yep.
that
Same
also
thing.
applies to.
They are the best dance partners you could have. You
Okay.
can suck, but they'll pull you up on it.
Okay, if you're looking for a 2-star match, sure.
No, I think Kane's had his fair share of good matches.
I gotta say, this is not me just being a Kane hater, because I don't care either way. But I cannot think of one Kane match where I went, wow, that's my favorite Kane match, outside of like the Royal Rumble where he destroyed everybody.
I think my favorite is probably Kane Undertaker WrestleMania 20. Now that I think
That
about it.
match was awful, but the build to it was really good.
Oh, I like the match, like, because it's all story based. Like, there's not a lot of good moves, or like the work rate or whatever the hell term you want to use is pretty bad.
Work rate doesn't exist. I mean, the psychology in it,
But it was just
doesn't exist.
But I like the like, here's the people complain a lot or talk a lot about like masked Kane versus unmasked Kane, but I like the unmasked thing, because he's a guy who's actually good at like facial expressions and emoting through that, like when he's actually involved and stuff, not the last year. But so that's like at WrestleMania 20 when Undertaker's stuff hit and he came out and Kane was losing his damn mind because he thought he was dead. Like it all came off very well. Like,
yeah, there was a highlight of that match though. Is him with his eyes closed, walking towards the Undertaker, then getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of that match.
Yeah, but that's cool. Like, it's memorable. It's storytelling. Like, it worked. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
Like the whole scenario, the whole storyline, like, really worked for me. And I like him just losing his damn mind when he came back is such a memorable moment at WrestleMania. And then whatever happened in that main event that night, who knows?
Wow, that got quite in depth.
No, some Shawn Michaels Triple H match that no one remembers how it ended.
Yeah, Chris Benoit won.
Who?
Yeah, that guy.
I don't. Chris Candido, maybe?
No.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I don't
I'm talking
remember
about the best
Christian being
in-ring
in that
wrestler I've
match.
ever seen. It was Bob Holly.
Oh, of course.
Oh, it's Bob.
And he won with the Alabama Slam.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of a guy who, like unlike Kane, who I have a few like actual favorite matches of, a guy who I can't think of a single good match of, Bob Holly.
Whoa. Whoa. Bob
I
Holly versus Al Snow, St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1999.
I don't know. I just have no good memories of Bob Holly.
Exactly. I could have told you any match there, and you go check it out.
Yeah, I have no idea who that. Like, I don't have no memory of that match. Like, I don't know what that is.
Bob Holly versus Brock Lesnar, main evented at Royal Rumble.
Wait, are you just making up matches, man?
No,
that,
serious.
that seriously happened.
Oh my god! I'm
that's
sure I
totally-
saw it. I am sure I saw it. I have no memory of that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that happened. That happened.
Yeah, I mean, like the only great, I remember Brock Lesnar Spike Dudley fine, because that is a great match.
So Kane's coming to the end of his career. This ties in quite well, actually. Kane's coming to the end of his career. Who do you see retiring him, and why?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, you can go one of two ways. You could do Taker at WrestleMania. You have that be their last match together. They both go out. You can do that, or you can or you can have Roman Reigns be that guy that does that, and then he gets super over.
But does he, though, if they're making Kane a babyface?
Guess what? Kane's only going to be hot for about 3 weeks. Okay, this little run that he's getting right now, he's going to get the rub off the Authority, and then as soon as he turns, it's over. That's it. As soon as he turns on him, it's over.
He had a good babyface run in Team Hell No and stuff. People liked him.
Yeah, but we know how the fan base is. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the crowd reaction, the fan base. It's going to be right back to, Kane's boring and he stinks again in a month.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like, even if he's doing like good work, it's not gonna hold. But
Still real.
Yeah, they're really gonna.
Like, I would honestly rather see Taker Kane wrap up both of their careers than see Taker Sting. I'm gonna be honest about that. I don't really care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do they go with the story? I mean, if they're going to go Kane Undertaker, what do they do that they haven't done before?
Retire.
I know. But these two guys are.
Ta-da!
These two guys are old and barely holding together, and that is the crux of it. This is it.
You just do a classic respect match. That's it. You just go, hey, you know what? This is it. Let's do it one more time.
So who's the face?
Simple
Who's the heel? Because regardless, the crowd's going to pick Taker as the face.
Yeah, so, that's it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. You can just play.
You have them both walk off together at the end anyway. As the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah, I would love to wrestle for 8 or 9 minutes, and then you do the Brothers Destruction thing, and then they leave.
I would love to think they end it as a full circle. Kane came in kind of fighting for the respect of The Undertaker in some ways. I would love to think that although Undertaker might pin Kane, at the end of the match he does the pose in front of him with the urn. And that's when they walk off together and then do your Brother of Destruction thing. Like, it's almost now they're equals.
Aww.
Yeah, and then
I think WWE's cheesy enough to do it at WrestleMania. If they're gonna do it, that's the place.
They like the at least one awe reaction per Mania. Like, get the Shawn Michaels Ric Flair in there. What did Shawn Michaels say? He said like "I love you" or something before he super kicked Ric Flair. Yeah, that kind of thing. But
no,
that's
I would love to have Kane just screaming, "I hate you. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you," and then for Taker just to take a beating. And then sit up at the end, tombstone and pin, end of match.
It might be just the Kane, like, fanboy guy in me, but the fact that, like, he's lost so much, like in the last year or two, and like he lost both previous Taker Kane matches. I would kind of want him to go out on the win with Taker finally after 20 years.
Nah.
Fair enough.
Nah.
I can get that.
Nah.
All right, I understand.
Back to your cage, peasant.
Yeah, I'll climb back in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big divide between Kane and Taker, especially at Mania. So, I mean, you still give him his moment, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who wins and who loses. They both walk.
True.
Yeah, they both walk off retired together, arm in arm, maybe holding hands. Who cares? That'd be
Now you see, obnoxious CJ Webb got it. He got where I was going. Heel Rowan should retire a face Kane. I completely agree. I honestly believe that Reigns is going to retire Big Show and Rollins will retire Kane. I think it's a good way of getting Rollins.
And then Dean Ambrose retires El Torito.
No, Dean Ambrose gets the Money in the Bank. He's got to have one too.
Right.
While retiring El Torito.
No, it was just the fact that like Roman and Seth have been getting like really huge stuff, and Dean's been more in the middle. And so they get to retire two like legendary guys, and then he retires El Torito.
I don't know what they're doing with Dean. But,
yeah, but here's the problem though with that is that could almost turn Seth face.
Well, beating Kane. I think if they use a face Kane, it'll be fine. He's got to be the extreme face monster.
People hate Kane.
The internet hates Kane.
People
but I don't
Kane.
think the crowds hate Kane.
Yeah, that's the thing. The internet does hate Kane, and the reactions that he gets in the arena are the ones that are reflected at home as well. It's those who are on the internet during Twitter, during Raw, that hate Kane because they've taking up time of the new.
Yeah, if you put the mask back on him, you let him just be that fucking monster that destroys people every week, then okay. You build it up.
Yeah, where does
it end? Where do we end this at if we're fantasy booking this?
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Sorry, the pay-per-view before SummerSlam.
So it's like a 2-month build.
Yep.
Ugh. Is that enough time to really get Kane that reaction though?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think Kane goes babyface. He takes out the Authority. Seth says that he warned the Authority. Seth's back on the good side with them. Means that he's even more of a heel for siding with the Authority again. Kane then goes on to try to take out the Authority. Seth steps up, uses the banned curb stomp, and takes him out. He uses a move that's too dangerous and takes Kane out at SummerSlam. And why not do it in a match where Kane can't come back? Do it in a buried alive match and set the grave on fire.
Can't do that at SummerSlam though.
Well, no, you do it at the pay-per-view beforehand.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big match. Then how about this? Then we save that for Survivor Series.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be pretty cool with that. Survivor Series is kind of connected to the whole Taker Kane thing and how some of their stuff went. If it's kind of integral to, because I think it was Survivor Series where Kane killed the Undertaker, birthed the casket and shit.
Yeah.
So if Seth Rollins does the same thing to him, that'll be kind of that'll be that would fit well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll accept that then.
I mean, I think it's one of those things that Rollins needs to do. I mean, like I said at the start, you need to have guys that are going to keep up with their promises. Reigns made a point of saying, I'm going to make Big Show retire. He needs to do that, and then he'll get the face pops. Because, I mean, the way they're playing up Big Show's heel heat at the minute with the go-away heat, if that's how they're going to do it, and Reigns is getting pops for saying, I'm going to make you retire, roll with it. Just do it. Let Big Show spend the rest of his contract down in NXT helping the bigger guys.
I mean, Big Show finally, after 2 decades, won a battle royal. So, he can wrap up now.
Obnoxious CJ Webb says that masked monster Kane equals an automatic monster babyface. I'd hate to see a Punk put him down for good, but that's the point.
Yeah. Yeah. If Seth did it, like, you're kind of supposed to hate it. Like, it's supposed to be something that, like, you don't want Seth Rollins to do, because, that gets him heat.
I think the point was made as well. It's like Kane gave him the win. And if they wanted to play up on that, it's like Rollins can say, well, fuck you. I didn't need you to give me the win. Now I'm going to beat you because I can.
Yeah, he can get to be like, I am better than you.
Yeah, it's like ending a career because it's fun.
Yeah. He can pull some little bit of legend killer shit in there.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it. I mean, they'd have to be careful how they play it out. Make sure that it's not dull. To stop letting your typical writers write it. Let Paul Heyman in on it. No, I'd be okay with that.
Get whoever put together the Cody Rhodes and Goldust like original reformation like storyline. Whoever's idea it was, and whoever like wrote the Cody gets fired, Goldust comes back, tries to get his job back thing, and then the whole Dusty Rhodes and them could fight the Shield for the tag team titles and stuff. Like, that whole arc is one of my favorite things in the last, like, 5 years. So, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was good. Paul, what's your thoughts on current Kane, the corporate image? Good thing or bad thing?
Good thing. I mean, anytime that you can take a character that people are familiar with and evolve it, turn it into something else while still kind of keeping true to the original spirit of the character, that's a success. And he's really gone through a lot of transformations in the same character. And this is just another evolution of it. I mean, this is something that he can keep a hold of even after his wrestling career is done. I mean, he could be like an authority figure.
Yeah,
even after he retires now.
He can he can be a GM or whatever, and he can, Gorilla Monsoon and go from big monster guy to kind of normal a person who was just part of the show.
I kind of liked Corporate Kane, but I really wish they'd. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I wish they'd stuck with the anger management Kane. Ideally, I would have loved if they'd stuck with the Embrace the Hate Kane. I mean, of the most recent years, that's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, the reason, like, I'm not against the idea of Corporate Kane, and there's bits that I liked, but the issue with him is he didn't really have anything like, he didn't have any other aspect to his character besides being a corporate guy, like, for the most part. So yeah, if he had something in him that was more like, if he had, as a corporate employee, he still had to take anger management classes, that kind of thing. Like, it probably would have been more than it was, but it was really unfortunately one-dimensional for the most part.
We had to see him. We had to see him wrestle in slacks though for the past year, so that's a plus.
Yeah. I mean, you did get to see what shape he was in though as well for that. I mean, he was in surprisingly good shape this year. I think he's been better shape this year than he was maybe 2008 to 2009.
Yeah, dude's huge. I kind of forgot until he was until he was wrestling Seth Rollins, but he is a big, bulky. Like, he's still super muscular. Like, he's the most muscular he's been in a while. Like he was huge in 2003 when he was wrestling Triple H and stuff. He was, and one of the reasons why idiots on the internet thought they were different, the Canes were different people, was because he got hurt in 03, and so he ended up losing that muscle, and so he looked a little different.
Are you looking at like your Kane monthly body chart that you have on your wall?
Yes.
Okay.
What else would I use as a frame of reference besides something I made, Paul?
Wow.
Got a picture of him every month for as long as he's been around. That's good.
I tell you though, what's crazy is
It's a
that the guy has
calendar.
abs. Like the guy still has abs. Like he's not the slimmest of guys, but you can still see his six pack.
Which is pretty impressive for a dude who's almost 50 years old.
Yeah, he looks great. I
Yeah.
can't knock him. No, he looks great.
You aiming for the same thing, Paul, or are you staying young?
Whatever.
Wow. Okay, we won't
that
make
was a
fun of Paul's
mean
age on the
thing to
show.
say.
Wow. Old man gets grumpy.
No.
Guys, as we come to the end of the show, feel free to tweet in with what you feel is your favorite Kane match of all time. If you're including The Undertaker as well, feel free to head back and check out our Undertaker show that was on a few weeks ago. You get that on our app that you can download at levelsofwrestling.podbean.com, or you can go to the Google store and get it from there too.
And also on iTunes and Stitcher as well. We're on Stitcher too now, folks.
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy.
Always evolving.
Yeah, I don't know what
just
that
like
is.
Kane. Also, I don't know if you guys have heard the wonderful, wonderful news that recently we've been joined by Wrestle Reaction from WrestleZone.com. They're now going to be featured on our app as of next week. So that's a nice bonus as well. So you get fresh content from them as well as us, the Ringside Ramblers, Mind of Carnage, and Just Saying all in one place. It's a good time to have an Android phone.
Yeah. Too bad I don't have one.
I
Yeah.
also don't have one.
Guys.
I can't download the app of the thing I'm in.
What thing are you in? Parts
This
unknown?
thing. the levels of wrestling community, obviously.
Oh.
Also parts unknown.
Also parts unknown. Okay, that's fine. Soon we'll have our own village there. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but what we all know, well, actually, I'm not in parts unknown because, as Paul has said, I live on the next trailer down from Jamie Noble.
That's right.
Before we go off air, guys, what do you think Kane does this weekend at Extreme Rules?
Shenanigans in the main event.
I want him to tear off the cage door and tombstone someone.
Yeah, I see him being involved there in the main event with some type of shenanigans.
Maybe he can double choke slam Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury.
Oh, I think he goes all out monster. I'd love to think that he slams the door on Seth as he tries to open it. And then Orton goes to make the pin. Kane opens the door, pulls Orton off him. Seth still gets the win, but Kane has destroyed both of them.
Right. Yep.
It would be interesting if he just straight up didn't come out, and they were like wondering what happened to Kane, and then the pyro hits and he comes out in a new masked costume, old mask costume, whatever. Well, just a Hellfire kind of Kane costume, and rolls down to the ring like at a pivotal moment.
Mask with trousers. There
Yes.
Yes, perfect.
I would love to think that he gets to use that mask that he has in See No Evil. I would love that.
Oh god, that
Clear kind of plastic. It works because it's kind of weird.
Yeah, See No Evil 2 is like the only WWE movie I can think of that I think is legitimately decent. It's a fun slasher flick.
Yeah, Slasher's kind of what they do good though, because it's the over-the-top characters redone.
Yeah,
As far as I'm aware, the Saskia sisters wanted to do a Bray Wyatt film as well.
yeah, I would want them to do that because American Mary is fantastic, and she was pretty good. So I think I would trust them with that kind of thing.
Well, there we go. Aaron trusts them, so we trust them.
Yeah.
Guys, we came to the end of the show. Please feel free to send in any comments that you might have after listening to this over at Leveler LOW on Twitter. Be sure to follow the Ringside Ramblers, Mind of Carnage, Just Saying, and Wrestle React all on Twitter as well. If you've been listening to myself, make sure you listen to their shows. And, of course, a big thank you to Paul and Aaron tonight for joining us. Now, of course, next week you can hear us on Wednesday night for Lowdown, and you can hear us again next Thursday for Breakdown. Don't miss it. And, of course, everyone knows it's best to stay on the level.